So, user nihelm, also known as Spence, he sent me two of his old guitars. Thanks, dude. I spent a little bit of yesterday afternoon putting them into working condition so I could make a video of these. He sent me two of them. First one's a Harmony 2813, which is basically the newer version of the Harmony H804. The other one's the KE17, which we'll see later. It's sort of a Stratocaster with a single pickup and a little teeny body. Looking at this is the 2318. This was the kind of guitar Harmony started selling in 2003 onward on the internet. I think it was like after they stopped putting them in the JCPenney catalog for 99 bucks. Some notable differences between this and the originals. I have the original tailpiece here. I put a standard H804 tailpiece on it. The tailpiece on the newer ones looks like this, and it's actually stamped instead of forged. I don't know, I just like the look of the bigger, chunkier, older H804 style better. Spence's guitar didn't have the bridge on it, so I went out to Tommy's and picked up a Nashville Tune-O-Matic and put it on there. I tend to prefer this style on this particular type of guitar, and as you can see, it's angled. It plays perfectly in tune. I haven't even had to adjust it, and it's been playing perfectly in tune all the way up the neck. I love the way it sounds now. It's about the best one I've had so far. It's got the standard issue Strat style single coils, which aren't really Strat style. They're actually just like the ones on my Mutt Stratocaster, which right now is in need of a neck, but I'll be taking care of that later. Both of them, I haven't even tested the output on these. All I know is it sounds very much like a Stratocaster on the neck middle position, but not totally. The routing underneath the pickguard's completely different from how it used to be on the H804. On the 2183, it's now routed out all the way over here, so I could put a set of Mustang switches or something like that in if I wanted to. And the route just goes all the way down there and around like that. Whereas on the old H804 and H802, they had this bigger routing area over here, and then they still had the area up here for the switches, even on the 804, which, just like this, didn't have the switches. And then you had two big honking pickup cavities and one little thing in the middle there. Because of the swimming pool route, these things could be really, you could put a longer neck on them and probably move the bridge and it wouldn't harm anything. You just have one volume and one tone knob. They're just your standard controls. It doesn't do anything special. It's just a capacitor. It grounds off like usual. Regular output jack. Another difference between the 804 and 804 and the 2180, 2813 is the contour on the side. On the 804 and the 802, you have a beveled contour right here, but the 2813 and 2814 guitars didn't have this. They're slab body, and I kind of like slab bodies better when you have a thinner body, so maybe that has something to do with why it sounds better. I also tend to prefer slab body Mustangs, unless they're competition Mustangs, since you can't get slab body competitions. Harmony made some changes to the neck. On the old ones, there used to be a slot right here, and you had this little screw in the end that you take like maybe a hex wrench or something, and you would stick it down in there and you could turn it. It was a lot like a El Cheapo primitive version of the butt end of the neck truss rod adjustment like you'd find on the old Eddie Van Halen PV guitars. Up here has 21 frets. They're all the same old vintage style, but they actually seem to be a little better dressed than usual. And it's a very interesting fretboard. It's dyed to look like rosewood, but I'm not so sure it's rosewood because it's got sort of a black color to it rather than a brown. As we move back on the guitar here, there's some other changes that have been made since on these models new. Used to be Harmony had a little, instead of a nut right here, there was a little plastic guide, and then you had a 0 fret. I always hated that because I found the 0 frets on these were always had like grooves cut in them, and then the action would be too low at the first fret and it would just sound like shit. So what I did was on the old ones was I would always fill in that one back section back there, or even just leave the string guide there and put a regular nut on it like this, but I don't have to do that to this one, thank God. That's a pain in the ass. They also changed the tuners on the 2813. They're a bit better than they used to be. They used to be 6 on a strip open gear tuners, and they used to constantly strip and break, and after a while they wouldn't even tune anymore. You'd be turning and trying, your E string would be down at low B, and it'd be like, and you'd be trying to get the poor guitar up in tune, and it wouldn't work. So I'd have to take all these off and replace them. These actually work pretty good. These are just your general cheapy. They're like what you find on a Squier. The string guides look a little different too. Actually, they look suspiciously a lot like the ones on the K, so maybe these were made in the same Asian factory, I don't know. And over here you just have the standard old Harmony logo, Harmony. And the nice part is you can actually see the neck wood on this damn thing, unlike the older ones. The older ones used to paint the neck the same color as the body, unless it was a white one or a sunburst one. And then usually it was a maple neck with a maple fretboard. Also, I believe the neck is standard width on this, so if I ever need a replacement neck, I don't have to go through hell to find one. I can just go slap a Squier neck or something like that on there and be perfectly happy with it. Which also shows you another change they made, which is the neck plate. Let me see if I can find the one that they used to use up here somewhere. Because I know I laid it down. Well, anyway, they changed the neck plate over to a standard style neck plate, although I never understood why they put these plastic inserts on neck plates on these cheaper guitars. I read somewhere to protect the body. I'm like, why do you need to protect the body from the neck plate, you know? Nobody's going to notice. You hardly ever see the back of a guitar, and when you do, you're not going to care as much about it because it's not the side that the audience sees. Right here you've got plastic protector, though. I may take that off eventually, though. Strap button. This is I'm going to put strap locks on it and relocate one up on the horn right here where I prefer it in the regular fender positions. Maybe. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, it's a pretty good sounding guitar. I'm actually quite pleased with it. So expect to see some more H804 vids out of me on YouTube. Now it's time to move to the KE17, and then we can get to playing some of these.